yes, it's completely different. The main problem is most of the 90% of the people who practice what they call martial art, and the translation of bugei. Martial art comes from the translation of bugei. Bu, war, gay, art, martial art. But the problem is more than that. It's more than that. So most of the people who think about martial art, they have an experience of judo, kendo, karate, aikido, shorin kempo. So things that have been created in Meiji area in the moment where Japan was learning a lot from Western people, and a way of using the body from Westerners. And judo, karate, kendo, aikido come from that. And all of those kind of things have been turned to sports, and they are mostly developed in the academic world. University, most of the students were and you don't have too much people who was practicing Koryu doing judo, karate, kendo, aikido, because the rules are completely different. The way of using the body is very different. So the word Koryu is also new. Kobudo is also new. It have been made up during Meiji area and especially Taisho. Before that, you never use those words. What we want to express by Kobudo, it's you have Budo, Gendai Budo, which means nowadays martial arts, and nowadays judo, kendo, everything have been born in Meiji area, and Kobudo is things who have been before Meiji area. So between Edo, Muromachi and Edo. So Muromachi, Momoyama, and Edo. Muromachi is 14th century, Momoyama Azuchi is the 15th century, and Edo 16th century. And even in Edo, you cut the Edo area in two parts. First part, second part, and end of the Bakumatsu, or end of the Tokugawa shogunate. So even on that, you have many types of old school, but all have special characteristics. Some are created in peaceful area, some just between the peaceful area and the Warring State period, some on the Warring State period. All those things are called Koryu, that we translate by old school, but it's more to say classical. So what we mean by Koryu, it's everything before Judo, Karate, Kendo, Aikido. So for example, for Judo, Kano Sensei practice mainly Kitoryu and Tenshin Shinryu, especially first Tenshin Shinryu and after Kitoryu. And this were Koryu. We consider this classical school, the classical school of Judo, but they are completely different than what Judo is now, and even before. Because what have Kano is a very limited transmission from the school, even if he studied a lot and he was a clever man. What he was looking for, it's educational system. So, Judo, Gendai, Kobudo, for example, Kitoryu and Tenshin Shinryu. Same for the nowadays Jiu-Jitsu and the olden days Jiu-Jitsu. Now, after what happened in Okinawa, it's a little bit different. The way of using weapon, it's not really attested by a record. Because Okinawa used to be the bridge of the diplomatic relation between Japan and China. So you cannot have a soul where there is war. So you don't have a lot of record about war in Okinawa. It's always a place of diplomatic, so people who come to exchange things. Chinese embassy had there, etc., etc. And in the beginning of 16th century, the Shimazu clan, very strong samurai with a reputation of being very furious, very brave, invaded Okinawa. And there is no record that people use weapons from peasants to fight against a warrior, soldier from that job. Because in Okinawa you don't have that. You have, of course, a noblesse, court people, but most of the people who used to practice karate were peasants or rich merchants. Completely different. They were not warriors. It was not their job. Doesn't mean that what they were practicing was wrong. It was a very high level, very effective self-defense, but not something for the battlefield. And later, some people use, of course, the tools, peasant tools or work tools, as a weapon, and they call this kobudo. But the word budo even cannot fit for karate. It's completely different. Budo means the way of war. Of course, some people use the way of stopping the war, or stopping the halberd, but it's a way of war. And by war, you mean battlefield killing. So we need to first understand the nature of the word, the definition of the word, be aware of the context when it has been used, because nowadays people use the word budo as they want and koryu as they want. In order to make things a little bit more general, judo, karate, kendo, aikido, this is gendai budo. So nowadays, sports martial arts turned into sport or sports martial art. You have rules, you have things, even the way of moving is completely different. Nothing is made for kill. Of course, you might injure someone, but it's okay. There is no weapon inside. Aikido, they used to practice. Some people still practice in Ken and Jo, but not that much. You have few people. Some people used to practice a lot with Morito Saito. You have also some master who used to do Yai, Judo, Karate, and they did kind of mix, but they study this in order to make the Aikido more deeper, etc. Of course, you have Iaido, where you use sword, but only one side, and everything is fixed. You have many schools. So you still have competition, you have race. So this is really Gendai Budo. When you talk about Koryu, you start to talk about something with not too much people. A master, you follow an order, there is no race, and technique are pretty much old, sometimes change a little bit, and the way of ranking people still follow the Edo period system, what we call the Menkyo Shiki or Menkyo Seido. So how there is many Mokuroku, Daimokuroku, or Mokuroku, Chumokuroku, Daimokuroku, Menkyo Kaiden, and you become Shihan and you open your school. So this is the difference. One is more classical, is before Meiji, before the 18th century, and the other is after the 18th century.